favourite coaches on the Golf Zone, Bruce Green. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sam. Nice to be here.
Great. Now, we're going to talk about something which I think perplexes a lot of golfers, and that's how to play out of different textures of sand. Of course, Royal, where we are today, is known for its very firm, compact bunkers, but we've created we've raked up a bit of a fluffier lie here. Now, how should people go about playing the fluffy lie out of softer sand, Bruce?
Sure, Sam. Well, one of the problems with fluffy sand is that the golfer tends to get underneath it. There's no base underneath there. So if you're hitting down in your normal bunker method, then the club head will bury itself right down in the sand and you'll get stuck. The ball won't get out. And then you get a little spooked, you get another one, and then you try and lift it out, coming up with the sharp blade, and you'll hit it into the face or over the back. So what we suggest is that you turn the club face in a little, so that you just slightly turn in, and you feel like you're actually digging the ball out of the bunker. So the ball's played about centre, the blade very square, even slightly turned in, and lift it out. As you can see, we've lifted the ball out of the bunker.
Well, that certainly came out nicely there. It's almost gone in, actually. Bruce, very interestingly, I think most people have been taught, in the past to open the club a lot when the sand's soft and fluffy, but you're suggesting the opposite.
Absolutely. The open club face will just slide through the sand underneath the ball, and more often than not, virtually miss the ball. And the only time when we really open up the club face is when you've got a firm base with a little topping of sand, about ½ an inch, ¾ an inch of sand. So that you can skim it underneath, throw it up really high and stop it. Now, if you have to get the height out of a bunker, then you open that blade up a lot. But if you don't have to get the height, keep it squared up, and then you can just dig the ball out, as we did.
A lot safer. If we move across a little bit behind you there, we've got more of a standard kind of lie.
Sure.
Standard texture.
This would be what we'd have as a normal lie at Royal Melbourne, where we play the ball off the front foot, keep the weight on the left side. Keep in mind this sharp edge, which I think is so important in bunker shots, all bunker shots, to know what you're doing with that edge and where it's going. Now in this case, what we're trying to do is take 2 inches of sand, nip underneath the ball, have a nice little lift so that we shape the ball out of the bunker, and without trying to lift it out, let the head of the club take it out.
Okay, can we see the swing that creates that?
So we keep the ball forward, fairly sharp wrist brake lifting on the backswing, and there we go. Up underneath the ball goes high, plenty of check on that ball, we're near the pin.
Certainly did come out nice and high and soft. Now, behind you there, we've doctored the sand a bit. Well, we've created what you might see if you had a bit of rain and you get that really hard compacted sand. And we can hear it as you tap it there. How do you play this shot?
Well, it's like the kitchen floor. It's hard, it's bouncy. Now, if I take a full swing and I try and break up the hard sand, that's not going to work, because the base of the sand iron, no matter what shape of base you've got, will hit the ground first. The sharp edge of the sand iron comes up and blades the ball, and through it goes. So what happens, a lot of golfers tend to get on the hard ground and think they have to smash the hard ground to break it up. So what we do is we get that sharp edge and we try and drive that gently into the sand. The harder the sand, the softer we have to hit. The softer the sand, the harder we have to hit.
Okay.
So what I'm looking for again is to keep the blade quite square. If I open it up, I'm going to bounce the back of this club first onto the ball. So I have very little follow through. This is more of a pitch shot and can be played with a pitching wedge because you have a narrow base on the bottom of the club. So we're looking to play very sharp pitch down. As you can see, very little follow through, got some spin, and again we're down near the pin.
I mean, it's been 3 fantastic shots. I think interestingly we're hearing the reverse of what we've heard in the past with a lot of bunker instruction, but you're well known as a great bunker player, so I trust you.
Well, if anyone wants to challenge me, they're welcome to come. The fact is that you've got to take notice of what your sand iron, the shape of your sand iron. Nowadays, the modern day sand iron, there are sand irons like this Titleist one here, like the Cleveland, that are made specifically for this shot. In the old days, they made a sand iron that graded with the set, and therefore you had to do a lot of manufacturing with that club to play certain shots. These clubs nowadays are made to make the game easier. You have a leading edge that comes out here. So that gets to the back of the ball first. It's not offset. You have the flange. Some of them, they have a high bounce right at the back here. They're very good on soft sand, not so good when you've got on the hard sand. And the opposite. I prefer a sand iron that doesn't have a lot of bounce. I like to be able to just run the club underneath the back of the ball. But you can play with a square club face. Already it's got 60 degrees. Why do we need to make it 64 or 66 degrees?
Exactly. Well, Bruce, I think that's fantastic advice, and I think that's going to simplify bunker play for a lot of our viewers out there.